as I look at the candidates that are out there, and I've been tuning my ear and encouraging them, I've yet to hear any of the candidates deliver a compact, inclusive approach to how to defeat Islamic Jihad. I listen to them speak, and I like the components that I hear from them. One of them that says, we win, they lose. I like that, but how are we going to do that? We need a strategy. And one of them says, if you attack us, we will kill you. Okay, well, let's kill them first. That's fine with me. They've declared war on us. And if ISIS, for example, has established a caliphate, they declare it to be a caliphate, it is a caliphate. In northern Syria and in north and western Iraq, that real estate that they control is a caliphate. And they threaten all of the rest of the region. And they threaten us, and they say that their black flag is going to fly over the White House. Well, some would say that'll be a cold day, Mr. Speaker. And we've seen some dramatic changes in history over the last few years. So I'd say to the United States, we need to step up to this. We need to recognize our enemy. We need to defeat our enemies. Our enemies are Islamic Jihad. If you go back to the time of Muhammad, about the last 20 years of his life, and for 100 years after his death, there was a conquest going on of, shall I call them, religious conversions by the sword. And as the conquest was going on, Islam was invading and occupying most of the known world at the time. By 732 A.D., Mr. Speaker, the Islamists were outside the city of Tours in France when Charles Martel brought his infantry into the trees to face the cavalry charge of the Islamists. And cavalries don't operate very well in the forest, Mr. Speaker, and that's how the Charles Martel, Charles the Hammer's infantry began to defeated them there and chased them out of Tours and across the plains and left their bones scattered a long ways back towards Spain. That was 732 A.D., and you could fast forward again and again to catch some of the milestones. 1571, the Battle of Lepanto, when the Islamist navy was sunk by the Holy League Navy that went to meet them in the Aegean Sea. And you can go till 1683 when Vienna was surrounded by the Islamists of the time. And on July 14th, they surrounded Vienna, and for more than 2 months they besieged Vienna, for roughly 2 months. And then on September 11th, the 3 German infantries under 3 German kings and Jan Sobieski, the Polish king, brought his cavalry. They held a service at Kallenberg Church, which was razed. It was in ruins at the hands of the Islamists. But they held a service there in the evening of September 11th and prayed for God's deliverance of their battle the next day that had already enjoined on September 11th, and the deliverance of Vienna, which happened as in the famous Battle of Vienna, September 11th and 12th, 1683. Then it goes on. September 11th became the date that lived in infamy for the people who attacked us on September 11th, 2001, New York, Pentagon, Pennsylvania, and then again in 2012, September 11th, 2012, Benghazi. That date means something to them. It ought to mean something to us. They've been fighting Western civilization for 1,400 years. And they've been adapting themselves to the technology that's created in the Western world, creating very little themselves, but borrowing our technology, Mr. Speaker. We need to do cyber warfare, financial warfare, educational warfare against them. We need to build an alliance, a strong alliance with especially the moderate Muslim countries in the Middle East, those whom should be our allies, but for being, let's say, given the short end of the stick from our State Department and during this administration. And I'm speaking of countries like Egypt, the United Arab Emirates, for example, Jordan to a lesser degree, but they are natural allies to the United States. They're natural allies. In fact, they're allies to Israel today. And they've been attacking our Islamist enemies in that part of the world. The Egyptians allowed 4 planes to fly out of there to fly into Yemen, and the Emirates sent some of their air force there. You've seen the Saudis do the same thing. We can build an alliance in the Middle East with Saudi Arabia, whom I've got slightly less confidence in than I do in Egypt and in the United Arab Emirates, with Jordan, and also working in cooperation with Israel. This is just a quick list, Mr. Speaker, of a strategy to defeat the ideology of Islamic jihad. The time has come for us to do that. I want to see a presidential candidate, or 16 of them, I hope, who can articulate a vision to bring about the defeat of this enemy that has been bringing battle against Western civilization for 1,400 years, that targets the United States of America as the great Satan in the center of their efforts. That they would like to destroy all of the United States of America. There's much to be done for this Western civilization. We need to strengthen our culture. We need to believe in who we are. We need to sort the best things out of what we are and strengthen them. We need to call out the weaknesses that we have. And we need a leader whom God will use to restore the soul of America. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate your indulgence this evening, and I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman yields back.